Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Namaste friends. A very warm welcome to the first session of our Mananam series. As all of you know, the first step in our spiritual journey begins with Karma Yoga, and then we move on to Upasana Yoga, and finally coming to Jnana Yoga. And in Jnana Yoga, there are three stages. The first is Shravanam, then Mananam, and the third is Nididhyasanam, that is Vedantic meditation. So we have been doing Shravanam now for the last few years, and we have also been doing Mananam on our own and also through the quizzes that we have been conducting in our classes. Starting today, our sir, Dr. Timappa Hegde sir, will be taking us through texts that we have studied during our Shravanam and help us understand them in greater detail, and whatever doubt we have, all of that will be solved, or rather will be cleared, because we're striving for doubt-free knowledge. If there's any doubt in our knowledge, it's not going to be useful to us. Therefore, this Mananam series will help us establish doubt-free knowledge in our minds. With this, I invite Arya sir to take over. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Panaga. Sadashiva-samarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam. Om. As explained by Panaga, we are experimenting on a new series called Mananam, where we will look into topics that we have already studied so that we can quickly recap and clarify all the doubts. What is Mananam? Mananam is the second stage of a Vedantic sadhana following Shravanam. It is an intellectual process of removing doubts, also called Samshaya Nivritti, about the teachings that we have received during Shravanam. Mananam converts intellectual knowledge or jnanam into a firm conviction. Yesha mama manisha. I'm absolutely clear about it, or is called Dhrida Jnanam. Swamiji gives some nice explanations. Somebody serves you water, and before you drink, somebody raises a doubt. Just hold on, I have a doubt that there may be some contamination. Now, if there is a slightest doubt, would you consume that food or that water? So whenever there is a doubt, for example, there has been a big storm, and as you are trying to get out of the gate, you see a wire that is dangling in front of your gate, and you're afraid to open because you're not sure if it is a live wire. It is important for you to go, but then you're not too sure if the wire is a live wire. So whenever there is a doubt, you are not able to proceed, and any doubtful knowledge is not going to be consumed. Swamiji says Mananam is 100 times more important than Shravanam. Why? Because doubtful knowledge is useless. I give an example of the live wire and about water or food that may be contaminated. A nice quotation says, Mananam is using the scalpel of logic to remove the tumor of doubt. Swami Paramarthananda ji has given some wonderful definitions on Shravanam. Let us go through it. Shravanam means systematic and consistent listening to Vedantic's text scriptures for a length of time under the guidance of a competent acharya. Swami Anubhavananda adds that if you do 1 hour of Shravanam, Mananam should be 22 and a half hours. And he says 30 minutes will be for nidhidhyasanam. That is the importance all our acharyas give for Mananam. Mananam is resolving all intellectual doubts until I can say with conviction, Aham Brahma Asmi. Nidhidhyasanam is transforming the intellectual knowledge of Aham Brahmasmi into emotional strength. Today we are studying the Kathopanishad. The Kathopanishad is part of the Vedas, and the Vedas are also called Shrutis. Shruti means that which is heard. That is why they are called Apaurusheya. That means those rishis who in their deep states of meditation, and because they have been so evolved, they are Brahmanishta, they have been receiving these signals just like a receiver of the radio receives these signals. These, the Vedas, according to our tradition, it has always been there and it has been received by our rishis. And the Vedas can be, and for generations, they were received even before the written text came. That is why when you study Sanskrit, you will have what is called uh, there is some prayoga. It is called chandas prayoga. When it is or arsha prayoga. Arsha means the rishis have used a particular language even before grammar came into formal being. Now, grammar was later done by Panini. So that which is given to us before grammar came in, that is the Vedas are there before the grammar was formally given. So it is there even before the written text, before the Devanagari text came into being. And that is why for generations it has been going from master to student by Karna Parampara. That means just by hearing. That is why the pronunciation of these Veda mantras are so important, because if you don't pronounce it properly, you will get a wrong meaning. The Vedas can be classified into Veda Purva and Vedanta. The majority of the Vedas are the Veda Purva, which deal with various religious activities to fulfill Dharma, Artha, and Kama. Veda Anta that we are studying now is the philosophical part to help us to attain to moksha. Now, what are the synonyms for Upanishads? One is Vedanta. It is also called Jnana Kanda. Atma Vidya, Brahma Vidya, all them mean the same thing. Now, this division should be very clear. What is Veda Purva and Vedanta? It's also called Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda. Karma Kanda can be further divided into Karma and Upasana. Jnana Kanda remains the same. You can go to further divisions. You should know what is Mantra, Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, Upasana. So you can divide Karma Kanda, Upasana Kanda. Karma Kanda can be divided into the mantra or the Samhita Bhaga. Then you have the Brahmana Bhaga. Then you have the Upasana or the Aranyaka Bhaga. So therefore the mantra, Samhita, Brahmana and the Upasana or the Aranyaka portion all belong to the Veda Purva. Now I will summarize and so that you are very clear about this understanding. So the Vedas can be broadly divided into Veda Purva and Vedanta. We are not dealing with Veda Purva, but let us know when these terms are given. What do you mean by mantra or the Samhita portion? Now, these are the Vedic mantras. These are hymns. They are metrical compositions used during rituals. The Brahmana portion is prose commentary explaining these mantras and also telling us how to do these various rituals. For example, you have the Nachiketa Agni, that will be the Brahmana portion. The Aranyaka portion are the various upasanas or various forms of meditations specifically given for vanaprasthas. And then you have the Jnana Kanda, which we are studying in the Kathopanishad, which reveals the ultimate truth of Brahman. Before we study the Kathopanishad, it is said the first Upanishad that Adi Shankara gave a bhashyam was on Kathopanishad. And he gave a very detailed, not a very detailed, he gives a very crisp bhashyam. And because it is the first Upanishad that he's giving us a commentary, he goes to a very detailed explanation was what is Upa, what is Ni, and what is Shad, and how it is broken up. Upa really means something which is very, very close to you. What is the closest to you is the Atma, my true nature. Upa means Samipe, something which is near. Upa also means Guru Upasadanam, going towards a Guru. Ni means two things, Nischaya Jnanam or sitting down. That is why this Upanishadic student will always have to sit one level below the teacher. And Shad has got many meanings. Adi Shankara spends a lot of time describing the root Shad, which means destruction. One meaning is destruction. Destruction of what? All forms of limitations. The Jiva Bhava, samsara, ignorance. This is one meaning of Upanishad. I said Upanishad refers to something very close to you. And what is closest to you is your true nature or Atma. Ni also means Nischaya Jnanam or doubtless knowledge. Shad means the one that takes you. Now, Shad Dhatu can be divided into three: Visharana, Gati, and Avasadana. As I'm repeating this because you will see many paragraphs on the Bhashyam deal with what is Visharana. Visharana really means destruction. Gati means that which takes you. Avasadana, that means which loosens the grip of samsara. And Adi Shankara refers to the Nachiketa Agni as the Avasadana. So, Visharana means to destroy, Gati means that which takes you or leads you, Avasadana means to loosen. There is a Upanishad called the Muktikopanishad, where the teacher is Sri Rama and the student is Hanuman, where we discuss about 1180 Upanishads. And he says, oh, unfortunately, now only about 108 are available. 10 of them have been commented by Adi Shankara and other great acharyas. And those Upanishads which have been commented by the great acharyas are considered by scholars to be major Upanishads. The others are not minor, although they are referred to as minor. There is no minor Brahman in all of them. It is the same. Like for instance, we study Kaivalya Upanishad from the Atharva Veda, and you will see the greatness of this Upanishad is no less compared to any other. Just because they have been commented by great acharyas, the classification is major and minor. Now, this is another important thing that students of Vedanta should know. Rig Veda has one major Upanishad called Aitareya. Yajurveda, that what we are studying today, has got two schools, the white school or Shukla and the black school is Krishna. The great or the major Upanishads are Brihadaranyaka and Ishavasya from the Shukla, and from the Krishna Upanishad, we have Kathopanishad and Taittiriya. From the Samaveda, we have Kenopanishad and the Chandogya. And from the Atharva Veda, we have Prashna, Mundaka, Mandukya. What I have highlighted is in red is what Swamiji generally recommend that all of us should study. Although I have not included, Chandogya, Swamiji says chapters 5, 6, 6, 7, and 8. He would recommend that we study that also. How many Upanishads should we study? This question was posed to Bhagwan Ramana. And the quick answer he gave was, to see yourself, how many mirrors do you need? The Upanishads are like mirrors to see yourself. We will focus on one Upanishad. That is the Kathopanishad. One Upanishad studied in detail, verse by verse. And that is what we are going to try to do in each of these exercises. That means if any verse is given from the Kathopanishad, you will be able to say what that verse means. Kathopanishad, like all Upanishads, give a lot of emphasis to the qualifications of the teacher and the qualifications of the student. The student should be a sadhana chatusthaya sampanna, and the teacher should be a brahmanishta. That means who is anchored in the Brahman, and one who's a shrotriya, one who has the ability to communicate this extremely difficult and subtle teaching. The greatness of the Kathopanishad is that is the teacher. We have a very unique teacher in the Dharmaraja. Dharmaraja is one who is absolutely true as far as Dharma is concerned. So therefore, when it comes to Yama Dharmaraja, there is no fault. He is absolutely fair. Now you see Yama Dharmaraja here as Brahma Vidya Acharya. The other greatness in the Kathopanishad is all of us are lovers of the Bhagavad Gita. And you see most, we say Sarvo Upanishado Gavo, that means Upanishads have been, Bhagavad Gita has milked the essence of all the Upanishads. And you will see many of the verses in the Bhagavad Gita, most of, if there is one Upanishad from where most of the verses are directly taken, it is Kathopanishad. Normally, the cause of mortality here becomes the cause of immortality. Now, if Kathopanishad is studied in the course, at some stage you will be able to discover your own immortality. The greatness, I will borrow some verses, some words from Swami Tapovan Maharaj as what he has spoken as the greatness of Kathopanishad. He says, it is perhaps the clearest of all the 10 Upanishads, particularly the first chapter. The first chapter of the Kathopanishad is absolutely delightful. And when it comes to the second Valli, you will see some of the most beautiful mantras on the nature of Brahman, which is also there in the Bhagavad Gita. It repeats the essentials of Brahma Vidya without making the subject complicated. It goes on adding color in its description of the pure Atman. Now, if you see the second chapter, it is a repetition and a repetition. It seems like Yamadharmaraja has gone into an ecstatic state where he keeps repeating. Now let us come to this Upanishad, Kathopanishad. It belongs to Krishna Yajurveda. Yajurveda has got two divisions, Krishna and Shukla. Kathopanishad belongs to the Kataka Shaka of the Krishna Upanishad. Kathopanishad itself has got 2 chapters or adhyaya. Each of them have got 3 sections or vallis. So you will have 6 vallis. Sometimes you will have chapter 1, 2, 3 and second chapter 1, 2, 3. Sometimes they will say chapter 1, 2, 3 and second chapter 4, 5, 6. So you can remember Valli number 4, 5, 6 and so on. Totally we have 119 mantras to study. We will begin with the Shanti Patha, and I will request Chetana to explain this Shanti Patha. Chetana, please.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvi Nau Aditham Mastu, Ma Vidvishavahai, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. This prayer is from Krishna Yajurveda, as mentioned, and so is the Shanti Patha for Kathopanishad as well as Taittiriya Upanishad. The prayer begins with Om Sahana Avatu, which means, may the Lord protect and bless both of us, that is, the teacher and the student. Sahana Bhunaktu, may he nourish both of us. Here, nourishment is in the form of knowledge. So the first 2 lines talk about Ishvara Anugraha, seeking the Lord's grace. Sahaviryam Karavavahai. Whatever is required to gain this knowledge, may we make an effort for that. How? On the part of the student, he should have Shraddha, commitment, retention and recollection of knowledge imparted. And on the part of the teacher, he should have commitment, time, patience, compassion, and the ability to communicate the teaching. So this line therefore talks about prayatna or self-effort. Then, Tejasvi now aditam astu. Let us both be illumined by this study. Let the understanding not be vague, but be brilliant and shine forth. This knowledge is not a matter for inference. It is about me as the subject and must be understood very clearly. Therefore, let what is studied be brilliantly clear, free from any errors. Here, this line talks about Medha Shakti. Ma with Vishavahai. May we not be subject to any misunderstanding and dislike. Let nothing come between us so that this communication is complete. It is talking about having a harmonious relationship between the teacher and the student. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We chant Shanti 3 times, not because there are three types of Shanti, but there are 3 types of obstacles that can deny Shanti. So let there be freedom from those problems. What are those obstacles? Adi Daivika. Let the problems not arise from the forces over which we have no control, or from all the beings around us, Adi Bhautika, or from the factors within ourselves, Adhyatmika. Now, according to Puja Swamiji, through this Shanti Patha, the student is asking for 4 boons from the Lord. First, he's asking for Jnana Prapti. May the Lord protect us by giving knowledge. Second boon is Jnana Nishta. May the Lord bless me with the ability to assimilate this knowledge in order to transform my life. Then Prayatna. May I be able to put forth the necessary effort in order to achieve moksha. And finally, he asks for Shraddha. May I have faith in my teacher. Thus, I pray that all the 3 capacities, physical, physiological, and mental, be available to me in a manner conducive to my pursuit of this knowledge. And in chanting these 3 Shantis, I pray for freedom from these 3 possible obstructions. Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you, Chetana. There are many Shanti Pathas, but there are 2 important Shanti Pathas. One is Om Sahana Bhavatu. Whatever you are studying, whenever there is a teacher and the student, we begin. And we conclude with Om Purnamada. These 2 Shanti Pathas, we should be very clear. We are students of Vedanta. We are into the path of Jnana Yoga. And the meaning that Chetana gave us should be very clear in our head. Now, when we come into the Mananam category, let us look at the same Shanti Patha in a little more advance. I have heard Swami Paramarthananda ji say, when you chant this prayer, you are asking for 4 boons. You are asking for Jnanam. You are asking for you're asking for Jnanam. You're asking for Jivan Mukti. You're speaking about Prayatna, and then you're speaking about Shraddha. And when you look at the mantra, and even as you've heard the explanation by Chetana, you turn it around, you're not able to discover where these boons come in. But somewhere I heard Swamiji give a very brilliant explanation on where is this Sahana Bhavatu. You're asking for protection. And Swamiji says, what is the highest kind of protection that you have? Important people like the Prime Minister and presidents have got a special protection group. Now, the highest form of protection may be for the US president, which is called the Secret Service. Now, is there something even higher? And that is what this prayer is saying. The highest form of protection is to understand that you don't need any protection. Why? When you get spiritual knowledge, when you get jnanam, you understand aham brahma asmi. I'm not this body which needs protection, but I am Brahman. And who can do anything to Brahman? The highest form of protection is that jnanam where you know you don't need protection. See the meaning? Then comes sahana bunaktu. Once you have bunaktu means to relish, means to enjoy. Once you get jnanam, the rest of my life is going to be nandati, nandati, nandat eva. I'm going to live my life, nothing to do, nowhere to go. It is a time pass. Everything is enjoyment eva. How? As a jivan mukta. And that is the meaning of relish, means of bunaktu. Even if you are a Jivan Muktaha, you're not going to waste your time. You're going to make an effort. You're going to see how you can make it better for the world. There is a very nice prayer in addressed to Swami Chinmayananda. I'm not able to get that prayer immediately. This is the Chinmaya Mission prayer addressed to Niratam Karunamayam. You know, Swami Chinmayananda is a Jivan Mukta. But how does he spend his time? All the time bringing his Karuna and sharing it with people. He is constantly working. Niratam Karunamayam. The moment that prayer comes to my head, I will say. So, prayatna means let us constantly make an effort to live a meaningful life, even if you are a Jivan Mukta. Then there is Shraddha in what? In the Guru and the Shastra. That means when you are very close to somebody, differences will come. When you are very close to the Guru, sometimes there will be differences in the way you do something. But if there is the background of Shraddha, I may have differences, but I will be able to approach the differences through, maybe it is my way of seeing it, and that is how there may be no differences between me and my Acharya. And that is this beautiful Shanti Patha. With that background, let us look at an overview. Today's class is all about an overview of this great Upanishad, and we are looking mainly in chapter 1. In chapter 1, there is a beautiful story. There is a nice story, and that is why initially I thought it was Katha Upanishad. It is not Katha Upanishad, it is Kathopanishad, where you have the story of the three boons. And when it comes to the three boons, and the third boon being Brahma Jnanam, the teacher wants to know whether the student, all of us now are the students, all of us are Nachiketas, am I an eligible student for Brahma Vidya? Throughout, you will see in the character of Nachiketa, one thing is Shraddha. Shraddha comes. And in the early verses, which you will see in the next class, is the importance of keeping one's word, importance of Atiti. See, in Chandogya, in Taittiriya Upanishad, these things come Atiti Devo Bhava, and how a guest has to be taken care of. And the greatness of Yamadharmaraja. You will see, you will develop a certain reverence to Yamadharmaraja in the course of this Upanishad. There are three rinas all of us have, and these three rinas come from the Kathopanishad based on the three boons that Nachiketa asks. One, and if we are able to fulfill these three rinas, we live a meaningful life. Pitra rina, the debt to our parents; the Loka rina, the debt to our community; Acharya rina, the debt to ourselves, and that is to attain to Parama Purushartha or Moksha. The second Valli is one of the most beautiful of all the Upanishads. And it is in this Valli you will see in the initial part, even before the teaching comes, Yamadharmaraja is appreciating the student. He will say, what a wonderful student you are. And indirectly, there is about the greatness of the teaching, the greatness of the student, and what a rare thing this teaching is all about. And some of the best mantras about Jnana Swarupam and the various sadhanas like Omkara and all come in that Valli. What is the glory of the teacher? The teacher is trying to describe something that cannot be described in words. And the teacher is not trying to describe something which is not an object, which is the subject. And all our understanding is object oriented. I can teach you about the heart or the brain, but then, to teach you about yourself requires a very special skill. And the glory of the student, and that is to all the students who are here, all of us are to recognize that you are exceptional, that on a, when you had so many other options in life, that you have come to Brahma Vidya is the greatness of the student. And Brahma Vidya is extremely rare. That is the greatness of this teaching. So it is not available for everybody. Even in this country where you say it's a very religious country, how many people know about Upanishads? There are various ways in which you can be religious, but how many focus in religion on the Upanishads? So the student is rare. To get students for an Upanishad class will be handful. It will never go into double digits. Extremely rare to get more than students. The teacher is also very rare, and the subject is also very rare. This is one mantra which is, this is one verse which is given to us by Adi Shankara when he begins his commentary. Now, wherever I say mantra, mantra is those which come from the Vedas. All other compositions are human compositions, become mantras. But this is given by Adi Shankara, and therefore, and because it is so beautiful, we will chant this before every class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Mrityave Brahma Vidyacharya Nachiketa Secha. Now, when this verse comes, all our teachers go into a great explanation of this particular mantra. Now, normally, we begin by prostrating to the Acharya. But here, there is a prostration both to the teacher and to the student also. Nachiketa is also mentioned for two reasons. One, the student later on becomes the teacher himself, particularly when it comes to Brahma Vidya. And there is something called Dehali Deepa Nyaya. That means if you keep a lamp on the threshold, it illumines both the outside and the inside. Now, if you see Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya, Vivatswan is Lord Sun. Vaivasvataya is the son of Surya Bhagavan, that is Yamadharmaraja. Mrityave, that is his designation as the Lord of Death. Brahma Vidyacharya. He is now seen as that person for whom we have the highest respect is a Brahma Vidya Acharya, the one who reveals your limitlessness. To such a person, what kind of thanks can we give? Now, when you put that word Brahma Vidyacharya in between Vaivasvataya, Mrityave, Nachiketa, that means it refers to both of them. So we refer to both of them as Brahma Vidyacharya, and we offer our namaskara to them. Adi Shankara also begins by giving what is called a Anubandha Chatustaya. So right in the beginning, before he begins his Bhashyam, he will talk about what is the Vishaya. It is Brahma Vidya. What is the Prayojan, Parama Purushartha? Here you will see who is the Adhikari, the one who has Sadhana Chatustaya Sampanna. And what is the relationship between the Adhikari and the Prayojan, the Adhikari and the Vishaya, and so on. That is what is called Sambandha. I will conclude my introduction by saying, when we study Upanishads, particularly, these qualifications which are given to us by Tattva Bodha, like all of us should have Viveka, we should have Vairagya. But among all these qualifications, there is one qualification which is seen in Nachiketa is Tivra Mumukshutvam. That means I want it and I'm willing to give any price that is required. So if a student has that qualification, that I'm ready to give whatever is required, all the others will fall in place. The discipline that is required, Shamadhi, Shakta Sampatti, Viveka, Vairagya, all fall in place. Now, in the Tattva Bodha text, these definitions are given. What is Viveka? Viveka kaha? Nitya Anitya Vastu Viveka is Viveka. And how does it answer? Nitya Vastu Ekam Brahman. Other than Brahman, Tad Vyatiriktam Sarvam Anityam. I am Nitya Anitya Vastu Viveka. So what is Viveka? Brahman alone is Nitya Vastu. That means everything else is Anityam. So Viveka is one who's going to focus on Brahman. That means that which is there in all three periods of time, that which is permanent is Brahman. I give importance to it. Now, I see this beautiful creation. Do you think it is useless? Swamiji says no. It serves a lot of purposes. It is useful for entertainment. It is useful for education. It is an opportunity for service. It is an opportunity for growth. But whenever you have to turn to peace, security, and happiness that we look for, turn to Brahman or God, because Brahman is the only reality. Everything else is unreal, and that is Viveka. Now, once you know what is Viveka, everything other than Brahman is less important. When I focus on that, if I have a clear understanding of what is Viveka, then Vairagya becomes a byproduct. Viraga kaha. What is Viraga? Iha, here, Swarga Bogeshu Icha Rahityam. I have no desire to encash whatever benefits I have acquired in this world or in the world. So that is the meaning of the word Viraga, free from strong likes and dislikes. It does not mean giving up all your responsibilities for your family, but it only means that I am now going to focus on that which is permanent, and that which is impermanent, I am not going to depend on it for my happiness. Very important. What is mumukshutvam? Mumukshutvam kim? Moksho me bhuyat iti icha. And in that there is tivra mumukshutvam. I want it at any cost. What is Shama Adi Shakta Sampati? Shama, Dama, Upara, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana, Cha Iti. What is Shama? Manonigraha. That means control of the mind is Shamaha. That means a mind that is free from all stress and strain, a mind that is available for Vedantic study. It is mind mastery. That is why we need to say more important than mastery over the world. When you have to choose between Manojaya or Lokajaya, choose Manojaya. What is Damaha? Damaha means the ability to mastery over your senses. In this Upanishad, you have the Ratha Kalpana, where you see the horses are controlled by the reins, and the reins represent control of all the sense organs. That is Chakshur Adi Bahya Indra Vigraha. The ability to direct our sense organs to be able to see what is proper, hear that is proper, and mastery over my sense organs. Another important quality is called Uparama. Uparama means I'm going to focus my time on whatever is important. So I'm going to withdraw from everything that which you call as extrovert. Second chapter of Kathopanishad, first mantra, Paranchikani Vyatharnat Swayambhu. That talks about Uparama. That means anything anatma, give the bare minimum time so that I get all the time available for Brahma Vidya. Titiksha, you will see here in Nachiketa, who could fast and you could wait for 3 days. Sitoshna Sukha Dukkadi Sahishnutvam is mental toughness or titiksha. That means I have that mental toughness to be able to handle whatever is required. Another important quality in Nachiketa you will see is Shraddha. Shraddha in the Guru and Vedanta Vakya. So these are the important qualifications. What is Samadhana? Chitta Ekagrata. My ability to be able to focus on whatever I'm doing 100%. Swamiji gives a nice example of, you may be doing so many things, but if you have a long journey, you're traveling on a train, in between stations, you get down, do so many things, but on the background, I'm here only for one thing. I'm here for Parama Purushartha. I may do so many things, but the background Shruti is I'm here for Parama Purushartha, and that is Samadhana or Chitta Ekagrata. So in the future classes, you will see Nachiketa is a gold standard for us. All of us have to be students like him. Let me have Tivra Mumukshutvam like Nachiketa. Let me have that Shraddha. Let me have the ability to fast and wait as long as it is required. Viveka and Vairagya. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. we will now have a quiz. As I said, these are Mananam sessions. Dr. Anupama will have a quiz, and all of you can answer. And if you're listening to a recorded version, you will pause so that you will get the answer before I answer these questions. Dr. Anupama, please.
Thank you, sir. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. We have just heard some basics about Upanishads and Kathopanishad in specifically. Here are some questions with regard to what we have just heard. What is Mananam? Please select the best answer. Is it Jnana Prapti, Samshaya Nivrityartham? Is it Manonasha, Jnana Nishta, or Nitya Muktatvam Prapti, Akhanda Anandam Prapti?
I will choose number 2, Samshaya Nivrityartham. That means to clear all doubts.
Okay.
Please
So,
explain.
yeah. So when I say Aham Brahma Asmi, Nirvikara, I'm Nitya, I'm Sarvagata, etc., by identifying with the body-mind complex as I always do, and the prarabdha that seems to attack me all the time, it seems quite improbable. So with Shraddha in Guru Shastra Upadesha, we have to clarify all doubts, practice nidhidhyasanam, and then before we practice nidhidhyasanam, we should clear all these doubts by a process called mananam. So it is samshaya nivrityartham. What is the meaning of the word Upanishad? We have just heard in detail.
Yeah, I've already explained. Upa means close, something very close. Upasamipe. Ni means nischay jnanam, or one level below. Shad means to destroy. And there are three meaning. Visharana, Gati, and Avasadana. Visharana means to destroy, Gati means to go towards, and Avasadana is to loosen the grip of samsara on you.
That's right. Upa means being close to the Guru, and also the closest thing that we have is the Atma. Ni means Nischaya Jnanam, or doubtless knowledge. It also means sitting down below the Guru. Shad means destruction of Jivatvam, bondage, limitation, Sara, ignorance. Shad also means that which takes you to that knowledge. Avasadana means loosen the Hridaya Granthi, the knot of ignorance in our hearts. Next slide, yeah. The root shad, as you just said, has three meanings. Visharanam meaning to?
Visharanam means to destroy.
Gati means to?
To take you towards.
And Avasadanam means?
To loosen the grip on from samsara.
Yeah, that's right. So this Kathopanishad, a few basic questions. It belongs to which Veda?
Krishna Yajurveda.
Why is it called Katho?
Kata. Kataka Rishi. One reason is Kataka Rishi. It also comes from the Kataka Shaka. And I've also heard from Swami Anubhavananda that in the Hridaya Kamalam, in the heart, you have 12 petals. And it is from ka to ta. Ka, ga, ga, na, cha, ja, ja, na, ta, ka to ta. This is what I have heard.
Okay, that was more than I knew. Who is the Guru?
Yamadharmaraja.
And the Shishya?
Nachiketa.
What was his age approximately?
Less than 10 years of age.
How would you know?
Kumara.
That's right. So we said this Upanishad is present in the Brahmana portion of the Katha Shaka of Krishna Yajurveda. It was said that Veda Vyasa allotted Krishna Yajurveda to Vaishampanaya Maharshi, and his student was Katha Maharshi, who was the Drashta. The Drashta means he intuitively received this Upanishad when he was in meditation. So, yeah, it says Tam Ha Kumaram. That is why we know he's about 10 years old, less than 10. Nachiketas is the Shishya. Okay. Now, about the Shanti Patha, we know is a special prayer of a Vedantic student and Guru. Here we seek Nava Navautu Avatu. Now Avatu means protect. See, there are the answers given in the block below. Just select the most appropriate one. Now Avatu means protect both Guru and Shishya from.
Ignorance and give us knowledge.
Bhunaktu means protect us till the completion of.
Our transformation of our personality.
Okay. Saha Viryam is our effort or what anugraha to transform.
Atma Anugraha.
Yeah. Vidvishavahai means without strain in emotional relationship. In the word vidvishavahai, which is the emotion that you can see in the word?
Dvesha.
That's right.
Proceed.
Yes, please.
You want to explain?
No. Okay, now this is important. I think you have already mentioned it in what you just taught us. Would this special prayer or Shanti Patha be irrelevant to a Jnani? We know that a Jnani is not ignorant and he already exists in the binary format. He needs no transformation of personality. So, what would this prayer mean to him?
For a Jnani, it is not really relevant, but the Jnani identifies with the student, so he prays along with the student. Is that the answer?
Yeah, but it is relevant. I will tell you how. As you've already said, see, for this Jnani, Saha na avatu. He says that the jnanam, that I am nitya shuddha mukta atma, when he is not referring to the body-mind complex, he is anatma, limitless. He knows that this jnanam itself is the greatest protection that he could ever have. So he is grateful for the jnanam. Saha now bhunaktu means he feels nourished, he relishes and he celebrates this jnanam. How can anybody celebrate jnanam? By being a Jivan Mukta, by living like a liberated person, Nandati, Nandatyeva, despite all the limitations of his body and prarabdha karma. This story, we know, begins with Vajasravas performing the Vishwajit Yaga. Now, next slide, please. What was the motive of Vajasravas when he was performing this yagna? Was it Sakama or was it Nishkama?
Sakama, because he wanted to go to the heavens.
Yes, that's indicated by the word Ushan. The word Ushan means heaven. So his goal was only to obtain heaven and the material benefits of Swargaloka, therefore Sakama.
What does ha and vai mean? Adi Shankara gives a lot of explanation on ha and vai. I mean, these are sometimes made for metrical reasons. Ha in itihasa, ha, it really happened. You know, he's telling a story, and in a story you bring it happened this way. So, like itihasa, ha and vai. Ushan ha vai.
Next one, please. Yeah. So the fourfold purposes of the story part are, you can please select the appropriate answer, the greatness of,
Vedanta or Brahma Vidya.
the role of,
Guru,
the qualification of.
student and teacher.
That's right. Next slide, please. Yeah. Brahma Vidya. The Guru's glories, he teaches the indescribable thing that makes a student know something which is not an object of knowledge. The glory of student is he has chosen moksha as his goal, the Shreya Marga, in preference to material benefits, the Preya Marga. Glory of Shastra or scriptures is the uniqueness and the rareness of it. So we have seen these verses here, and from these, what can we infer about Nachiketas? Pidotaka Jagdatrinaha Dugdodha Nirendriya, description of the cows given to the priests as Dakshina. And he says, He Tata Kasmai Mam Dadasi. And then Tam Kumara Santi Dakshinastu. He says, Niyam Niyamanasu Shraddha Vivesha Saha Manyata.
Actually, these verses will come in the next class, but that is okay. But
Yeah.
but as he was watching the whole proceedings, he saw certain flaws. And the father was giving the cattle that were not really of any use to anybody. In fact, they would be a liability. And if you're giving a dana which is going to be of no use, you will go to Ananda Loka. You will suffer from that. And he didn't want his father to suffer. So that was his intention. So the boy was a little concerned about his father, and in the process, accidentally he irritates his father.
So he belonged to a traditional family witnessing these yajnas. He had shraddha in the efficacy of the rituals, perhaps more than his father. He feels certain that a deficient dakshina is a violation of rules, deeply concerned for the father who may get naraka loka instead of swarga loka, and he was interested in the well-being of his father. So we have seen this anupashyan yata purve, pratipashyan yata apare, sasyam iva vrityam pachyate, sasyam iva ajayate punaha. See how our forefathers lived and also how others of the present generation live. Man decays and dies like a plant and is born again like a plant. What are the three virtues that are revealed? Which three words can you pick up? Which reveals the greatness.
One is to Vakya Paripalan. That means when you give your word, you have to live up to that word, even if it means whatever. Second is, about the boy is ready to die. He says he is willing to die rather than to give up the living up to the promise that a father makes.
So he values dharma and satyam. The father has mentioned something in the Yajna Shala. Vakya Paripalanam, he says, is absolutely important. Can't go back on your words. So he feels it was worth going to Yamaloka. Next one, please.
These verses will be discussed in the next class also. Continue.
Anubandha Chatushtaya refers to which four of these? Brahma Vidya, Sambandha, Atma Anatma Viveka, Prayojanam, Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti, Nishta Jnana and Vishaya.
The Vishaya is Brahma Vidya, Sambandha, Prayojan, and Adhikari will be Shama Adi Shakta Sampatti. Want to explain?
No. This has been explained. This is the last. Thank you.
Dear Anupama ma'am, thank you very much for this brilliant quiz. The way you put the questions together, combining the complex topics, the words, and also in your clear um, asking of the questions, and of course, sir's answers make the whole exercise so fruitful and useful for us. Thank you very much. Thank you, dear sir, for giving us an overview to what we're going to be doing Mananam about in the coming weeks. Thanks also to Chetana ma'am for explaining this beautiful Shanti Patha to us. So, friends, let us all make this Shanti Patha our own as our teachers bring to us the highest glory of Vedanta. Now, as we all know, the Upanishads represent the pinnacle of Vedantic scriptures, and we are so grateful for our teachers who are bringing it to us in such a simple and easy to understand format. Many, many thanks. We will meet again on 18th of July as we continue with our Drisha Viveka classes. Please stay with us. We conclude with our Shanti Patha. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Thank you.